In a world that constantly tells us to do more, what would it look like to embrace contentment in our daily lives? That's what I'm going to be diving into today. If you are joining me for the first time, this is Moving Beyond Burnout, and we focus on cultivating self awareness and developing practical pathways to overcome burnout for good. My name is Camesha Jones Brandon. I'm a recovering workaholic, burnout overcomer, and I've created this platform to talk about so many different aspects of burnout, how we can heal from it and eliminate it for good. So, this episode is the first in the Power series, and the Power series will focus on four different areas that we can activate that can help to combat burnout. And they may be things that you may have never considered before. So, for the first episode in the Power series, we are talking about the power of contentment. So, contentment is a state of being that focuses on being satisfied with your life and having a feeling of satisfaction with your possessions, your status, your situation. And contentment gets a really bad rep because people can think of contentment as settling. But from what I've learned, contentment is about fulfillment and satisfaction. And especially in American culture, we are constantly told we have to get more money, get more resources, grow, expand. We are constantly told that we have to do more all of the time. All of the time. And especially if you're a high achiever, you are definitely have bought into the doing the most or doing more. And so I want to talk about the problem with doing more. So the more that we strive, and striving is not a bad thing. I am someone who is a striver, but I will tell you that sometimes you can be striving and you don't know where your destination is. And the more that you do or try to accomplish or try to attain or acquire, the more opportunities there are for stress and a lack of clarity and direction about who you are and where you want your life to go. And so, one of the things that I think is important when it comes to contentment is to have the opportunity to look back and accept your life as is. Oftentimes, we are going, 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 going. And while we're going, we're not taking a minute to just take a step back and look at my life as it is. And can I see the blessings? Can I see the goodness that is in my life? Can I be grateful for what I have and where I'm at? And when we're able to do that, there's a level of acceptance that can be truly transformative when you're able to look back, reflect, and just pause before trying to accomplish the next thing. So, what is the connection between burnout and contentment? So, as you all know, this is Moving Beyond Burnout, and I want to talk about its connection to contentment. So, when I think about burnout, it is about exhaustion, physical, mental, emotional exhaustion, and being overloaded with responsibilities, being overloaded with stress, being overloaded with so many of the different challenges that could come up in our lives. And it's being in a constant cycle of that. And it is in direct opposition to contentment because contentment is about acceptance and satisfaction. And that in itself can prevent us from taking on more, from doing more, that can lead to burnout and exhaustion. So when we are truly content with our lives, when we are truly embracing all that is in front of us, it's, I think, less likely that we will take on more or be more exhausted because we're perhaps maybe not striving to acquire and take on more and do more. And there's a cost that comes with it. It's often not talked about. I'm in rooms with leaders, women in the community, and especially for Black women, there is a focus on getting the position, being the CEO, being the leader, but it's often not focused on in terms of what comes with that. So even though front facing, it may look good or may look fulfilling, but behind it, there are a lot of internal struggles that I'm seeing Black women deal with because of the impact of striving and being maybe a leader or taking on so much responsibility. And as I just shared, I believe that contentment is in opposition to that in a good way. So I have 4 R's that I want you to remember that help us to practice the power of contentment: reflect, relish, relax, and realign. So, first, I want to talk about reflect. Reflecting, as I shared a few moments ago, is about taking the time to reflect on your past and current life. I have a little story that it definitely impacted how I worked and how I saw myself and the lack of contentment that I've had in the past. When I was an undergrad, I was so excited. I made the dean's list. I went to go tell my supervisor. I was just so happy that I made the dean's list as a freshman student. And when I told my supervisor, he said, "Okay, that's great. Get back to work." And when that happened, I was, thinking about, well, I guess it relates to being humble, but also, it touched on, okay, what you did is fine, but you just need to go back to doing more or trying to get to the next thing. And that I didn't realize over years stuck with me. And when I look back on what I've accomplished, how I've grown individually as a person, it is truly amazing. And I really recognized maybe a year or two ago that I wasn't really reflecting as much on my life and who I am and what I've done and how I've been in relationship with people towards shared values and goals. And when I step back, I'm like, oh gosh, it is significant. So I want you to take some time to reflect on your past, who you were maybe a year ago, maybe a month ago, maybe a decade ago, and reflect on who you are, your past, and then to also reflect on where you are right now, where you're at in your current life, and how that connects to maybe where you want to focus in the future. So the next one is to relish. So relish is basking in who you are and what you're proud of outside of what you do. In American culture, a lot of what we're focused on is what we do. What you do, what can you produce, what's your evidence, all of that. But it's powerful to bask and to appreciate who you are as you are right now, outside of what you can do for other people. So, really taking those moments to celebrate your wins, small or big, to celebrate your existence for being here, and just really taking time to pour into yourself and to relish and to be proud of who you are. The next is to relax. So, relaxing is, embracing peace and pausing. When we think about relaxing, we think just taking a step back, sleeping or resting or what have you. But relaxation to me also means embracing peace and pausing. So, I want you to really think about how you can embrace relaxation. What does it look like to have peace to be a part of my life? And how can pausing, whether that's from responsibilities, pausing to reflect, pausing to determine what's most important to me, how that can help me in terms of activating that power of contentment. And then the last is to realign, define your intrinsic core values and determine your finish line. So, first, I want to talk about core values. So, values are beliefs or principles that are intrinsic, that can be true in many different situations or experiences in life. So, for me, one of my core values is community. Community is something that has been important to me throughout my entire life. It doesn't have to do necessarily with my profession, but it has to do with how much I love being in relationship and community with other people. And that is a value that's really important to me. And so when we're able to look at what our core values are and understand how they show up, and how we want to live out those values, it provides a opportunity to realign and have clarity about what's most important instead of just being on the hamster wheel, going, 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 and not really having an ending destination. And then lastly, determine your finish line. People who are constantly in a space of striving often don't know what their finish line is. And that's something that isn't as voiced in many situations is what is your finish line? If you are to live out satisfaction, if satisfaction were to come true for you, what would that look like? And that being the goal for you. And to also, with your finish line, noticing what already exists in your life that is a part of your finish line right now. So I really think that determining your finish line helps to not burn out. It helps to embrace contentment, to be grateful, to embrace and accept life as it is for you, and to see all that's around you. And when we don't know what our finish line is, we're constantly doing more and more and more, looking for that next thing, that next achievement, that next accolade, whatever. And that keeps us on this ongoing game of trying to be enough. And I want you all to know that you are enough now, and you will be even more enough in the future. And it doesn't have to do with what you do, and it has to really focus on fulfillment in life and satisfaction. So thank you all for tuning into the Power of Contentment. Was our first in our Power series. Next, um, the next episode will focus on the power of your pause. A lot of conversations around resting and pausing. There was an article that recently came out on LinkedIn that I'll put in the description that talked about women who were able to get in these high power positions, but they've decided to pause to focus on other things that are important to them that align with their values outside of career success. And so I want to take some time to talk about the power of pausing, how it relates to overcoming burnout, how pausing helps us to be in alignment with multiple areas of importance. So tune in the next couple of weeks for that. And then please subscribe to my newsletter. I have a newsletter that comes out every 2 weeks on LinkedIn, and it focuses on the topic that I'll be going over in the live stream, and then just some kind of thoughts, things I'm reading, or things that topics that I think could be interesting, or just kind of my own reflections. So if you're on LinkedIn, please subscribe to my newsletter. It comes out every 2 weeks. If you're watching on YouTube or LinkedIn, please subscribe to the channel. Please share with others. And thank you all so much for engaging in this episode. I look forward to talking about the power of your pause in a couple of weeks. Take care of all of you and be well.